Let's see, is that about to happen? And I think this time round the market is really going to move down. Just watch. Just watch. This is the moment. I think this is now the moment. This is now the moment that you are waiting for to see the prices going down. This is now the moment. This is the moment we were waiting for. This is the moment that we were waiting for. It is right here. I'm waiting for a very big red candle to move and push this market once downside. That is what I'm waiting to see from this market. I'm just standing just another small positions here. I'm waiting to see very big candle now pushing this market once downside. Now we are here. Don't worry, those are small losses of 0.01 that are coming in, but I'm waiting for see. Woof! Things have really been tough here, and we are still waiting to see how the market is really going to react. Considering now we are going back to 1300 instead of continuing to move down. Now look at this. 55.13, 55.13, 55.13. The problem is, number one, is that we have closed one position, so is that these kind of really closed. 1 minute. Now we had a problem. We had a problem with our first live. Then I had just to close it. I know some people are looking for me for the last link that I understand, but there was a problem. There was really a very bad problem. Now this is what I really don't like. I was expecting to see this candle that is around this area here to close slightly down below this, the previous one that opened across this area here. Now and that means one thing, that we may be getting a mixed signal around this area here, because this candle was actually supposed to close slightly below the opening, but you can see we closed slightly above this instead of closing really down this line here. So after this breaking out, and we got a rejection to one downside, and you can see how we are really getting these rejections. The market is trying to move down like this, and then we are getting so much rejection towards the downside. So for the quick one, because now we've been trading this, and I'm just going to wait and see how the prices are really going to react on this. Then on my side, what I'm going to do is just one thing, and this leaving us with closing the short position here with I'm going to reduce the risk here, which means I'm going to close some here so that you can be left with a small one here, and then we'll be leaving some of this trend to run all the way throughout. So those are very small risks that we are really taking from this market, considering now we are getting a mixed one here. So for this to be valid, now for this, actually this could actually be very nice. The market could have actually moved so well if we end this candle actually closing slightly below, that is 54.94. 54.94, that could have been very amazing, because now the price could be ending all the way down. But now what you can see, what we are really getting from this space. Don't forget as well, today we have something, as we are still on this, so I can bring this on this side as we check on the rest of things, what is really happening. Make sure that you keep watching this. This is what you're waiting to see from the market. But also we have, I want to show you what we have on the economic calendar, that is today. Let me filter this out. This is the reason I like. Let's go to the factory. Let's see what we have. So we have closed the last live. I think there was a problem of my PC communications were a problem. Yeah, so today let me also check on I want to filter these out. So unemployment claim, that's what you're waiting to see just today. I think tomorrow as well we have the GDP. CPI and core PPI. That is what we'll be talking about tomorrow when we'll be trading live here. We'll be talking about the PPI. We'll be talking about the PPI. Meanwhile, the employment rates here, that is what we are going to just wait to see, and you can see unemployment rate has actually been positive for a long time. Yeah, so we'll be talking about that. I think this is from 4:30, so for that I don't think whether we'll be live here, but we can talk about that as the time goes on. Now what to expect from that, and the leading indicators that we can watch to know how the performance of the employment is really doing, and what we can get in case maybe we might be getting surprised from this market, and we can be getting some good movement from this. So it's always good to know at least where the market might be taking us. The market is really the reason I've minimized some of this is because really this market is showing this candle. I was expecting it to close slightly below this, but you can see I was waiting to see around one closing slightly below 54.94 there. So at least now we can get the next one connecting us all the way throughout. But I see so many people now. I want to see how things are really going. Let's see what people are saying. Yeah, I think so. So many people are really pulling out the market from this area here. We're getting a lot of buy orders happening at those zones. Very big orders happening into this market. But across this zone here, now that is where we get the people selling again. So which puts us to these two levels that we have, that indeed this market might be selling all the way down, and this becomes so which just remain the same. Look at what is happening. The price, the market is falling. We are falling down, so they're still falling, but I'm expecting to see these prices lowering down, so we might be getting to that so anytime soon. So let's see what we're going to be getting from here. So I'm expecting this price to fall down all the way to 32.95, and once we get that area here, things will be very amazing. So we are still moving. Apologies for closing the last live. I like us to follow like the market until we get to the TP. We hit the TP, we hit the goal. That's always an amazing thing. That's always an amazing thing once we get to that. So apologies for closing the last live, but there was a problem with network. Now you see where the market is right now at 54.98. That is why we have a problem on breaking that zone. We have a problem around that area there. So in case this candle is going to close slightly below this region that we have here, which is this zone here of where I've highlighted that 92, 52, 92, then it's really going to be a very good sign that indeed we are going to move, and the market is projecting that we're going to move downwards, and that is what I'm expecting to see from this market. Of course, a sell that is going to happen to this market. You cannot be here and observe these kind of things and then you fail to subscribe. Come on, this is really interesting. Look at that. Look at what is really happening here, and of course we can be expecting a sell to keep moving, and once we break that zone, the market is really going to move towards the downside for very, very long time. Okay. So look at that. That is what is really happening to the market. Look at that. We got our first sell at 55.10, around 55.10. The second one we got it around 50. This area here, 55.25. And you can see the market is really dropping. I'm really expecting this area here, unless maybe, I don't know why we are really slowing down. And I think there are so many people who are really, when they see these kind of prices, the movement really becoming low, then what you're doing, they are buying from the market. Now, I'm expecting these prices to drop very fast all the way here. So make sure that if you have your prices, if you have your buy positions, then this is really going to be the stop loss. I'll tell you why again. All right, so let me just repeat that again. You see, let me repeat this again. You see, our first sell was absolutely around this area here. Remember when we actually noticed this candle here of 1 hour time frame moving down like this one, then we actually knew that the next candle that will be formed is really going to move all the way. But at least this end to move at least a half of this, maybe to cover a gap that was being created here. And we gave this market around here and saying in case maybe we touch above 40, then of course this market is going to change the course and move on the upper side. Now after this kind of here, remember we earned a small sell that we took from this market, which is around 55.10, and then the second one was around here, which is 55.25. So that is the second sell that we took. Remember, all these are very small sells that we took from the market. Then you can see the market is indeed selling. Now what is the next step that you're going to be getting here? Now the reason I load this area here as no buy stop, you didn't really have to buy at this area here, is because once you buy from this area here, if you look at the volumes of where so many trades, this is what we call now the low volume nodes. Okay, so when you apply, for example, the volume sign here, when you bring the fixed volume share, let's see, you're going to get here, look at this, we're getting so less volume around this area. And as you can see, once this market was moving up, it moved very quickly when we are actually moving up. So there was very fast, and that's why you see very heavy candles that were really being formed when this market was actually crossing this area. Now the next target that we have is market going to touch here. Now that is what I said, that in case for the people who are really going to buy from this market, this is what could have happened to them if you buy from this market here. I know this was very tempting to see this looking like a under, for example, we have a under block here, but I know there are so many people who could buy from this area and placing their stop loss slightly low here, thinking that this market is going to fill this gap that was created here, and then they put their TP slightly above there. Now the market, what it does now, because the market has already created the highs and the market is already created a high of 55.94, that was very fast considering the market moved from 52.90 something, moving all the way to the top here, which is around 55.94. That market need now, after this big move, this market really need a liquidity now to break another high, right? So we need to get liquidity now for us now to break the upper zone. And what does that really happen is to take the stop losses that have been placed here. So if you have placed the stop loss across this area here, just know that that is really going to be taken out. So you're going to be a liquidity right around this area here. So that's why I wrote and said, please, whatever you do, make sure that you don't place your stop loss in this region here, which is around 54.22, because the market is going to create a very big candle here to one downside and probably hit this very fast. Remember, the reason we call the market short is because the market can really move so quickly. That is short, and the short, once the market sells, this actually does not even last long. Okay, so it's going to do a liquidity sweep. All of these people who have placed the stop loss here, take them and then resume to move on the upper side. So make sure that you take care of that, because that is a dangerous move that you can have really into this market. Now we'll still observe this, and I think there are so many people are really buying. The reason you see market trying to move down and move up quickly is because right now gold is on the uptrend. The people who are really looking for the lower prices to buy the gold. So anytime people see lower prices for the gold, the $15 down, then they rush to buy the market, putting many orders. And that's why you can see if gold is really going to move very fast on the downside, then that is not really going to last long. Then what you have to do, then you make sure that you really buy fast when those prices comes low, right? So that's just simple like that. So I think, let me just leave this. I think this candle really closed so well here. We have closed so nicely. This market has really closed down here so well. So I don't know. Let's just wait and see how the market is really going to do this. The next move. Hey. We are getting the prices really returning again to the entry point. So we have 13 from 80. So what I'm going to do in this, I'm going to close this down, the lives, and then I'm going to be patient on this, and then we'll resume again tomorrow. But in case maybe we're going to have some breaking news or something very interesting, I might be coming live again at the top of the hour, that is around 8 p.m, so that we can finish this one. Tomorrow again we meet here at 11 a.m. for another amazing things. Tomorrow we meet here again 11